What's up, everybody? Geoff here with Out on That Line podcast, and we've got a singles video for you today. And what I'm going to talk about is what AI is going to be doing to music in the what looks to be very near future. So I was scrolling through TikTok the other day, and I looked for it. I could not find the original video that I saw or the user that made it. So I apologize, but I will post that in the comments down below when I do find that. But what they did was, it seems it was somebody that's, a producer of some sort, but decided to make a beat and then record some lyrics and then use an AI generated version of Kanye West's voice to redo the lyrics, essentially. What turned out from that was something that sounded very, very similar to something that Kanye West would release. So much so that I think if you had played that for somebody that did not know that it was an AI cover and just said, hey, this is a new Kanye song, check it out, I don't know that you would be able to really tell the difference. The lyrical content was written specifically to kind of go with his normal rhyme schemes and things like that. So it sounded very, very authentic. Now, that scares me because what's going to happen? So you might have all of these record labels that have all these mid-level bands. What's going to happen to those bands when the record label can just pay for somebody's AI version of their voice and just use that in conjunction with whatever songwriting team they have employed? But imagine if a record label could, only needed to pay somebody to write the songs, maybe a small team, depending on the size of the label. And then they just have a whole list, a plethora of voices and people to pick from to sing those lyrics while not actually having to pay an actual artist or an actual singer, an actual band to play those songs. Now, to me, that is going to make it very difficult for any bands to actually make it, because what do you even do in that situation? You have to be so special, so different, that an AI version of you wouldn't be the same as the real version of you. How many artists are there really in the world that you would say that about? Maybe there's a lot you don't know about, sure, but in your life, you can name maybe 4 or 5, maybe, that will be so distinctive that an AI version of them would be hard to get away with. Now, it's also just scary thinking about what you could use someone's voice for that they're not totally in consent with. You could, an advertising campaign, of a product that they don't agree with or a person they don't agree with, but it's not their right anymore because they've sold the AI version of their voice. Now, you think about these artists that have sold all of their music, Springsteen being one of them, sold their catalog for, in some cases, hundreds of millions of dollars. Springsteen, I think, was $500 million. Serious money. Now, what happens if there's somebody that just has an extremely distinctive voice, like a Billie Eilish, and a company just decides to say, I'm going to pay you $400 million to be able to use your voice and for whatever I want. Like, there's no stipulations or limits on what that can be used for. Now, I say Billie Eilish not for any reason other than she's got a distinct voice. It's like, what Billie Eilish sounds like. And now they're using her voice for products she doesn't agree with. Now, does she have any say because she signed the contract? She sold the rights to her voice. Like, does it matter what gets done with that? Now, does that start getting used to try to put words in people's mouths? So where an advertisement, you might be able to say, like, very easy to tell that's AI, it's not actually her singing that. But what happens when someone's voice gets used for something without their consent, without their knowledge, for a reason other than like advertising, maybe to damage their career, maybe to, just have some real personal consequences for them? It's a very scary thought. Let me know down in the comments what you think about all this, because I see this happening very, very quickly. I think it's already progressed to a point where there's not really any stopping it. How are they going to regulate it? That's going to be a big, big question. Is it going to be something like Congress has to get involved? I think at this point, yes, they would have to. It's just, to me, we're so far past the point of being able to really control what this gets used for, and we have to start coming up with some real strict structure on as far as like what this can, if you can even sell your voice, if a company can even buy something like that, or if you have to have approval on everything it's used for. It's just, there has to be some meeting point between the artist and what could potentially be the end of that entire industry as we know it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Make sure you check out our next full-length podcast episode, because we go into this more in depth, and you get to hear Alex's thoughts on this as well. As always, he brought some pretty good perspective to the whole thing. So check that out. Make sure you subscribe down below if you aren't already. Let us know in the comments if there's anything you think about this. I think it's going to be a major shakeup here. So if you're on this channel, you probably do care about what happens to music, and you probably have some thoughts on this. So let us know what you think. Until next time.